What's up, guys? Okay, so this is just going to be a video on Google Play versus the Apple Store. Okay, so which one is better? Honestly, that all depends on which type of app that you get. Okay, so for an example, if you are using if you buy a rewards app, okay, I typically, if I'm going to use a rewards app or anything like that, where basically the person gets paid or gets a reward or something like that for downloading another game or something like that, I will go with the App Store. Okay. If you've ever had Android and you've ever downloaded apps like can't even think of the name of them. But I mean, if you download any apps where you basically download other apps to receive points or anything like that, you'll know that 9 out of 10 is always better on the App Store. Okay, when you do it on Android, for some reason they just don't convert and things like that. I mean, and then it's just a huge pain, and gets reviews down and everything like that. I mean, it really just doesn't convert, that well on Google Play. I mean, it's just that simple. But on the App Store, I mean, 9 out of 10, is normally going to convert and everything like that. And you're not going to have any problems, and people are going to be able to get their products and everything like that. Now, that said, if you end up buying one, I mean, don't just knock it off. Because, I mean, obviously they do convert. It's just not as high, as it is on the App Store. So if you were thinking about buying one of those or something like that, those are good money makers. I mean, it's preferably if you could get one on the App Store, that's even better. But if you can't, just go with one on the Google Play Store. If I find one that's working well, I'll definitely buy it, no problem. If you see one of those, I mean, for either store, I would buy it. It's just that simple because I mean, you can make a lot of money off those. Okay, I mean, a super stupid, ignorant amount of money off of those. I mean, just a lot of money can be made with those reward apps. Okay, um, and yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, they're both good for certain things. I mean, like I said, it all depends on what you're doing. When you're buying an app for Android, you could expect more problems than over at the App Store. Like I said, this is just from my personal experience, okay? Because I mean, on Android, you'll have a lot of glitches and things like that. It's just what it's known for. On Apple, you really don't run into that as often as you would on the Play Store. Uh, and that's just like I said in my personal experience. Personally, I've always been with Android. I'm 100% team Android. I just got an iPhone as well because I mean I have apps on the App Store and I have apps on the Google Store. So if you don't have an iPhone or an Android or whichever it may be, you definitely want to get one of those. If you have an iPhone, you can just download the BlueStacks. I have a video on that and everything, so you can do that as well. So that way you can simulate an Android. Okay, but they're both good, guys. Like I said, it's just whichever one that you prefer. I personally go with both because I say, hey, there are some people who are team Android. You got some people who are team iPhone. Okay, so I'm gonna get both. I mean, what's the point of if I like I can't, I'm not just gonna be I've been team Android for 19 years. I'm not gonna jump over the iPhone. Okay, that's not how it works for me. If there are people over here who don't have something that's over here, I'm gonna go over here so I can get both and be on both teams and making both money from both of the teams. Okay, so that's what I personally recommend that you do both of them. Okay, because I mean you'll make more money. I mean this isn't a personal thing or something. Like I know some people really get big into the iPhones and Android's like, oh, I'll never use an iPhone or something like that. Honestly, you need to throw that out the window if that's your mindset. Okay, like this is for making money. This is not for some personal vendetta or whatever. I don't even know what to call it. But I mean, if you are on the Google Play Store, I mean, if you got an Android, get an iPhone. You can go to Craigslist or something like that, buy a cheap one for like 150, $200. That way, because you need two of them, whether it's on or off, it doesn't matter. You just need two of them, so that way you can test the games out. Okay. Um, but that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, do some research and stuff. See which ones you would prefer. If you are just buying your very first app, it'll probably be better to start off on the Google Play. Or if you got a little more of a budget, it's gonna I would go with the App Store. The App Store games normally cost more than the Android as well. I mean, you can find an Android game for like $20, $30, but I mean, normally on the low end for an App Store game, you'll probably have to spend 100 to 150, $200. Okay, so I mean, like I said, it all depends on your budget and everything like that as well. There'll be another video going in more depth and some examples and things like that as well. But that's pretty much it for the Google Play versus App Store. Conclusion: get both of them, get both the developer accounts and everything like that, so that way you can make maximum amount of money.